Sir, you are live now.
Yeah. Namaskar, a very good afternoon to all the participants today. We are having today with us CMA Shanjali Dias, Senior Vice President GSTN, as a speaker of today's webinar. The subject of today's topic of today's webinar is overview of recently introduced features for registration process in GST. We are we first before we start, we just want to say thanks to Madam Sanjali Dias to be with us today, despite her very busy schedule. And as we all know that in last week also we tried to get her in the webinar, but due to some technical glitch, we could not conduct that webinar on that day. But she was very kind enough to accommodate with us for this technical glitch, and she has given a new date today. So we are here to listen to her. We have today with us CMA Rajendra Singh Bhatti, who is the chairman of Indirect Taxation Committee of the Institute. Uh, I welcome Bhatti sir on behalf of the Taxation Department of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. I welcome all of the participants in today's webinar. I request CMA Rajendra Singh Bhatti sir to say a few words and welcome the participants and CMA Shanjali Dayas madam. Bhatti sir.
Thank you, Rajaji. Sorry, because I from my side that there is a camera problem. I won't be able to. You won't be able to see me because I'm audible and I can see you and listen you. Uh, Very good evening to all of the attendees and special thanks to Sanjali Das, Madam Vice President GSTN, for accepting our invitation and from her busy schedule to taught us for some of the new features in a GSTN. And we have a huge number of participants on live who are watching us. And last week also we tried, but due to the technical problem, we couldn't able to connect. So again, we requested and we are scheduling this. From tax research department, we are always ready to have some sort of these kind of a program for our member and for the industry. So they will be updated on all these new knowledges and all the new updates which are coming. So here we have a good source of speakers and our learned member who share their views and experience and interpretation of a law with the our fraternity. Thanks to our tax research whole department, they are working very hard for every new topic. And I was discussing with the Rajat just now only because every week he's coming with the new sort of a program workshops. And now we will have some sort of a GST conclave in coming time also, region wise, so that our member can have a more of a benefit. Uh, I would request all the member to be for a 1 hour with the Sanjali Das madam, because she has a very vast and techno commercial experience, because she is a civil engineer and then our own member. So definitely she will teach you the more of insights, because we are only the cost accountant and accountant. We understand the financial language, whereas the now the world is going techno, with the technology, where the what is going on in background. So by seeing the presentation, we can understand these things are going from which technical nodes things are coming and going here and there. So that sort of knowledge she has, so we will be benefited with her presence today. So I especially thanks from my department and from my side to Madam Sanjali Das. And I won't take much of a time because we have a learned speaker and intellectual bank with us. Madam is very learned because I was seeing her profile. Priyanka will tell you about her. So over to Rajatji. So you can start with the further question.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your opening remarks for this webinar today. We will now get into the webinar directly. Madam, if we request if you can please put on your video. We cannot see you.
Yes, I have switched on my video.
Oh, okay, okay. So, madam, we will start the webinar today. I request Priyanka to read out the brief profile of madam for for all the participants today.
Yes, sir. So today with us, we have Madam CMA Sanjali Dias. Ma'am is Senior Vice President of GSTN. Madam is a civil engineer and she has her Masters in Public Policy and Management from IIM Bangalore. Ma'am has completed her postgraduate diploma in Business Administration, specializing in finance from Symbiosis Institute, Pune. Ma'am is also a cost and management accountant from the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and she is pursuing her PhD with Pune University. Ma'am's research area is about taxation and economics. On the professional front, Madam Sanjali Dias has worked in the profile of a Deputy Commissioner at GST Department in Maharashtra. She has varied and in-depth experience in indirect taxes, as she has been performing her duties on areas such as assessment, audit of large taxpayers, refunds, etc. Madam has been a major participant in execution of business intelligence data warehouse project, and she has performed the role of an analyst on taxpayers data of Maharashtra to find out tax evasion during her posting in Economic Intelligence Unit of VAT Department of Maharashtra in Mumbai. Ma'am has contributed immensely during implementation of VAT and GST Act, and she is an expert speaker on GST across different taxation forums. Ma'am has received Appreciation Award for a special contribution in implementation of GST by GST Department of Maharashtra on the occasion of GST Day on the 1st of July 2019. She has also been honored with West Maharashtra Tax Practitioners Association in July 2011 for the expertise and invaluable guidance provided by her to the tax practitioners and her support and cooperation that she has shown towards them. Ma'am, we welcome you for today's webinar and we would like to have your insights today. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Priyanka. Keeping patience to read my lengthy biodata, but giving a justice to my resume. Thank you, Chairman Rajendra ji, for giving me invitation, and thank you, Basuji, having a patience with me and like reaching to me, and I am reaching to you. So all this. So thanks entire ICI team. Actually more than giving any speech, this is just a sharing between me and all other participants who have the same alma mater like me. The topic which we have shortlisted at present is about the I'm going to give you the overview for the features which are there in the registration process. And as we all know that the registration is module, or registration is the like initiation part of any taxpayer, any applicant. I'll share my presentation so that we'll get a better idea. So it's a overview of recently introduced features for registration process, and few features we have not yet introduced, but they will be in the process, or they are at present due to some reason halted, but still they will be in due course of time in the future. So those all features we will discuss today, and if there are any any doubts or any discussion, I will be taking those. If you want, while discussing, while sharing slide with you, if you want to discuss, I don't have any issue. If you want after my discussion, then also I'm ready. Okay. So today we are going to discuss first 5 points in this particular session. The biometric, electricity CA number, bank account details, furnishing and validation of bank account details, and PAN and Aadhaar number along with the mobile and email ID. Recently, GSTN has introduced this biometric-based Aadhaar authentication in Gujarat, Puducherry and Andhra Pradesh. In Gujarat, we went live on 7th of November and in Puducherry much before, and in Andhra, I suppose round about the first week of December, 4th December. So we have gone live for this biometric. The background for introducing biometric in system was in last year or last to last year. If you have seen, there are news about the false fraudsters or false GST numbers, and they are issuing the fake invoices. And after issuing fake invoices, the fake ITC has been availed. And there are a couple of beneficiaries in the chain. That is what we have been hearing. So the fraudsters, what they are doing, there are a couple of modus of operandi what we have observed on the field. Like few people have their identities are got stolen, like PAN numbers or Aadhaar, and on that the taxpayers, the fraudsters are taking the registrations on those for the stolen identities, we can say. Or sometimes they are seduced with some kind of bribes, like, or they are given some kind of attraction that we will give the some debt benefit trust, the direct benefit transfer or loans kind of, and the identities are borrowed. Or even there was one news that in Aadhaar system, it was the false identities are created through hijacking the Aadhaar system. So all these fake identities are this identity like PAN numbers, Aadhaars, they are taken, and they are, with the help of them, the GST registrations have been taken. That is what we have noticed, and the further all we know that the unlawful ITC is always availed through this once this fraudsters enter in the GST ecosystem. So to stop that, at least to have a deterrence for that, the government has introduced this biometric based Aadhaar authentication. That was altogether purpose. And for that, I mean, introducing that, the department or system is going to give the genuine taxpayer the much leverage by introducing this biometric, because most of the time whenever we reach to the taxpayer, then whoever are the illiterate or unaware, they say this number we have not taken. Someone has stolen my identity and they have been taken. So these are that whenever we go and catch, we say that it is a non-genuine taxpayer. But what happens that most of the time the non-genuine taxpayer says, no, this is my identity is stolen. I am not the one who has taken the GST number. So what the system has now at present is doing in this particular 3 states, which I have said in the beginning, that the system itself is identifying once the applicant or taxpayer, he files the application for the registration, the system itself identifies that whether the applicant has to be called on the to the department or through the GST Suvidha Kendra for biometric. And once the system identifies, then the system sends the email to the taxpayer or to the applicant, because he is not a taxpayer till then, to the applicant, and through the slot booking, through the way it is in the passport offices, the slots are booked, and to that particular GSK, the taxpayer has been called for the biometric, either for the fingerprint or either for the iris. That is what altogether idea. And this particular, if you are aware of the rule 84A, which is made live for this particular 3 states, to like follow that rule, like the rule 84A, we have been doing this biometric Aadhaar authentication. Otherwise, in other states at present, or if suppose in this states the particular taxpayer is not identified by the system, then he has to go the normal OTP based Aadhaar authentication. If he has chosen the Aadhaar, he has opted for Aadhaar authentication, then he has to go through the OTP based Aadhaar authentication. But by chance system identifies him on his past data, then he receives an email that yes, you have to visit to the GST Suvidha Kendra and the biometric has been done. So it is a real-time biometric authentication. It is sent to the UID center. His biometric is sent to the UID center and it is verified on the real-time basis, and he gets the immediately in GST Suvidha Kendra itself, it's get a real-time verification, and that time itself he has to get his original documents and verify his original documents over there in GST Suvidha Kendra, so that the further procedure gets much smoother. And then once this both the procedures are happened, like biometric authentication and the second original document verification, then the ARN has been created, and you know that further after the ARN generation, the procedure is normal. But this is the one of the major feature recently introduced in the system, and already this rule is introduced in 84A, which I discussed, that to identify the cases on the basis of the data and do the biometric Aadhaar and document verification. This particular rule is already 1 year before it was introduced. Only thing, it is implemented in this particular 3 states. So this is I hope the second slide is visible. That is electricity CA number. This particular feature has been introduced in Maharashtra. This is with respect to the Priyanka, can you see this next slide, electricity CA number?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So this is particular notification is introduced in 13th November 2022, only with respect to Maharashtra it is. Whoever applicant applies in Maharashtra state, it's a state specific, he or she has to get a state specific tab. When he applies for the registration form 1, then he gets a state specific tab, and where in that state specific tab he has to comply with respect to his place of business, which is the electricity distribution company and the CA account number of his principal place of business. So consumer account number. So earlier means in existing situation in other states, for the place of business, the taxpayer or the applicant, he submits his electricity bill. So in this case, not only he has to submit, but he has to, in the state specific tab, the applicant has to write the electricity distribution company's name, DISCOM's name, and consumer account number, which is there on the electricity bill. So altogether, idea is that specifically this is we have observed in Mumbai that in certain areas the fake electricity bills are electricity bills are tampered and given a wrong information by the non-genuine taxpayers. To somewhere to restrict that, the current the system verifies whether the CA number is whatever is complied by the applicant or taxpayer, and the DISCOM along with that system validates along with the electricity distribution companies. Of course, those which are in Maharashtra like Tata or Reliance or Maharashtra Electricity Board. So whoever the five DISCOMs are there in Maharashtra, so the system, the Maharashtra system, it validates with those DISCOMs and get whether the CA number is correct or incorrect, along with the name of that the owner of that particular CA number and the address, that is also is been verified with this particular feature. So it is always better whenever the applicant starts with the application, because we are the practitioners and we are working for that taxpayer or applicant. So we need to verify his entire profile or biodata, all 360-degree perspective. So first, as I told you about the biometric, where the system is identifying with his past data. So you need to know the way bank do the KYC, bank does the KYC, know your customer. So same thing, it is very needful. It is a need of the hour for every tax practitioner, every CMA to know your customer thoroughly. And so otherwise system itself identify like a astrologer or it's all its old database, it along with respect to that PAN, it is all is there in the system. So this is about the biometric, and in the case of electricity CA number also, whatever information is provided, as we are aware this digital India and in this e-governance, the all data is integrated in this account aggregators and FIU and FIV, all this new the jargons and new institutes and new concepts are coming. So in that nothing is, not a single thing is that we can keep the confidential. So everything can be validated, everything can be verified. So whenever you are handling your applicant, your taxpayer, you need to know him through 360-degree. So next is about the furnishing bank account details. As you are aware that earlier it was like after registration, the taxpayer has to furnish his bank accounts within 45 days. But recently the notification came and it has reduced the time 30 days. And probably in coming future, probably that also in coming days, that time also get reduced, don't know. But from 45 days to 30 days, the taxpayer has to, after his registration, has to furnish his bank account details within 30 days or before furnishing his GST R1. So this is, you need to take it account very seriously. It is not only 30 days or before furnishing the GST R1, whichever is earlier, because this system is going to implement very soon. For example, I hope my dates will be correct. Like suppose the GST R1 date you have taken on 1st January registration, and GST R1 date will be 1st December. You have taken a registration, say 25th December, you have taken a registration. So your GST R1 date will be, I suppose, 11th of January. And by 30 days, it will become a 25th January. So whichever is the earlier, so that the furnishing date of GST R1 will be the earliest date. So till then, you have to furnish your bank account details. And at present system is in existing system is not like identifying that, but very soon this new feature is also going to come. So whenever your taxpayer is, you give him the registration, he applies and he gets the registration number, he has to be ready with his bank account immediately. Though it is a 30 days, but it can become a hardly 10-11 days also, whatever example I have given you. So in that case, he has to file his bank account details, and we are coming with very soon the functionality to identify this. If he has not furnished the bank account details, then the as per rule 10A, you might be aware that the GST number can be suspended. It will be suspended. Already this feature has there in the rule 21A2A. This is already introduced that electronically system may suspend, will suspend the taxpayer, if his bank account details are not furnished within 30 days or before furnishing GST R1, whichever is the earlier. So this has been introduced on the 4th August itself, if I am not wrong, in the Rule 21A to A. Or you can say to Rule 21A, maybe subsection 4 or 7, sub rules 4 or 7. That just you check because I skipped that to write over here. But this particular functionality will be coming very soon. So that is one thing. Now, the second part of this will be when you are going to furnish your bank account details, kindly check that all this bank account details has to be correct bank account details. Once the system says the taxpayer has to furnish his bank account details, it's very obvious that it has to be the correct bank account details. There is nothing correct bank, you have to furnish correct bank account detail. It is nothing like that. You have, once system says the act says it's a bank account detail, it means it has to be correct. It has to be valid bank account details. Okay, so that is one thing. And if you have seen the notification 35/2021, in that notification, the bank account number should also be on the, has to be on the name of the registered person, and bank account number should be obtained on the PAN of the registered person. These two things you have to fulfill, and very soon system will recognize that also. Okay, you are not going to furnish only bank account number, it should be the correct bank account number. Second, it should be on the applicant's name, and it should be obtained on the PAN of the applicant's name, registered persons obtained on the PAN of the register. All these three things you have to fulfill, and otherwise if you don't fulfill these things, the system will recognize that, and then taxpayer will be in the trouble. So once he gets suspended, then as we all know that what are the consequences of that, it is a disturbance in his business activity. So before that, already the Act has given a 30 days, Act and rule has given a 30 days, or that whatever that gap for filing GST R1. Kindly take care of your taxpayer to fill the correct bank account details, and the bank account should be on his name and it should be obtained on his PAN number. These three things you have to follow. There is one more. In the rule 828, it is introduced in the rule, and already it is notified also. The permanent account number shall be validated online by the common portal from the database maintained by the Central Board of Direct Taxes, and shall be verified through separate one-time password sent to the mobile number, email, and email address linked to the permanent account number. See what is happening now in the existing system. When you go to the take a registration for the applicant, you you furnish the PAN number in the part A, and whatever phone number, mobile number is given, you are getting the OTP on that. Okay, but now system wants, by this rule 828 is already in existence from 26 December, almost a 1 year, more than 1 year. So system wants to connect this with the CBDT data. So whatever the PAN number you are providing, that PAN number, against that PAN number, whatever email number, email ID and mobile number is registered and in CBDT database against that PAN number, the OTP has to be verified or validated. That email ID and phone number will be validated through the separate OTP. So this is a very, very strict. I mean, this is a very, very important provision in the Act, and which is probably maybe ignored, or due to our unawareness, we are not able to like disseminate to the taxpayers. So because whenever your applicant, he comes for the registration, he has his own business in his mind. He wants to start it very urgently on the say suppose today is a 2nd January. He wants to start it immediately on 15 January because he's getting some big contract or this. So he has to plan his business. So you have to advise him. You have to advise your new coming applicants or in the business ecosystem. Before you have to take before you take any number, you have to be ready with certain ready with certain things. For example, how we are ready for the marathon, then what we do, we need to like do the practice for 1 month, eat diet and all, etc. Same thing, it is like that. So he has to, the taxpayer has to go to the CBDT profile. His CBDT profile has to be updated with his recent phone number, recent email ID. When he takes the number and when the OTP is shared with him, he should be having that email ID live and that phone number also live, which is in the CBDT. So as we all are aware, rather you must be much better aware than me that CBDT has maintained, I suppose, please correct me if I'm wrong, the two database, like one is user profile database. So whoever files the return, so that database is updated and properly kept. And there is, when he applies for the PAN, that time that database is created, that phone number and email ID. So these are the two databases. But if the taxpayer, he has updated his email ID and phone number properly in his user profile at CBDT, so this particular issue will not come when he's taking a registration on our GSTN portal. So whoever wants to like take a number in the future, so give an alert to or inform advance information to your applicant that kindly update your database in Central Board of Direct Taxes with respect to your phone number and email ID, because when he is going to take the GST, he is going to apply for GST on our portal, GSTN portal, his phone number and email ID will be validated, and that phone number and email ID will be validated, which will be in the CBDT database, and not that phone number and email ID which you are going to put it on the system while applying in the for registration, not that which is already available in the CBDT database. And that is also separately you are going to get two separate OTPs for mobile and email ID. This particular is not in the system, but be ready if system like starts adopting this particular feature. This is what I told you about the PAN database user profile. As I told you that in CBDT there are two databases, PAN database and user profile. There is a primary user. There is a third one more in the rule 10A. There is one more addition is given, which I skipped to tell you, that if you read the last sentence, a proprietorship concern, PAN of the proprietor shall also be linked with the Aadhaar number of proprietor. What we have observed, whoever the applicant applies or taxpayer applies for the registration, most of the PAN of the proprietor are linked with Aadhaar. Most of that we have observed. And even though it is not linked, at present system is identified, but identifying that his PAN number is not linked with Aadhaar. But as present, we are not taking any restriction or not putting any restriction. But anytime this restriction may come, so what is the suggestion to all of you, that these are the few things along with CBDT. Ask your taxpayer that just I have a meeting going on. ask your tax applicant to connect the PAN of the proprietor with the PAN of your, necessarily it is for proprietor, but it should be for everyone in future. So PAN of the proprietor has to be linked with his Aadhaar number, and that I understand on the CBDT portal there is a I have seen there is one link given at the bottom of the first page of CBDT key, the link for connecting the PAN of the person with the Aadhaar number. So this one more homework you need to do, get it done from your taxpayer or from your the applicant. So these are the few features I discussed with you, and you might be aware about the core amendments. When there is always there are, when you apply for the core amendment, there is always few of the things system verifies from backside. For example, if you have the PAN validation, the system keep on doing the PAN validation, and if this PAN validation has not been done after 2017, and if you go for some core amendment, and if in PAN validation some issue comes of against of any partner or any director, then system doesn't allow you people to apply for the core amendment. And that is one point I wanted to discuss. And is there anything in the chat, like any issues? Just one minute.
Ma'am, there are a few questions.
Yeah.
Ma'am, like Mr. Vaidyanath has asked, that is there a reason behind for providing time for furnishing the bank accounts? Instead, why it is not so that the department can insist on having the bank account details at the time of registration itself?
So that is actually a good point from our side also, because that is what I said. It will become from 45 days, now it is 30 days. Probably in future we don't know. It may reduce to 0 time also. So you can always provide your bank account when you are applying for registration. I hope that was the question, Priyanka. Actually, I'm not able to see the chat.
Yes, that is the question. That was the question.
Okay. The time is given for the taxpayer, no, to like to facilitate him.
Yeah.
Or sometimes what I have found it from the fields also, it's like egg and chicken story. When the taxpayer reaches to the bank, she's asked that where is the GST number. So.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am, another question is there. Is it not possible to allot the GST registration along with company or LLP registration as is being done like PAN allotment?
So the question is what I understood. I'll rephrase the question. How the PAN is allotted, the same line, the registration number should be allotted, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is again I started with the this lecture. I started with the how the fraudsters have entered in the GST ecosystem, and the unlawful ITC, how they are availing without any identity, without issuing the invoices or without supplying the goods, and they are taking undue benefit of this ITC, and there is a chain, huge lengthy chains in the system are introduced, and there are many non-genuine beneficiaries, genuine beneficiaries also. So to avoid all these things, we have introduced so many restrictions or validations in the system.
In this, with regard to this question which he asked, no,
Yeah.
in company is still following that language changes is going on, but PAN and all that, no, the GST is based on a just on, I think, madam, and that company act is still So like PAPSI they are giving, and this PAN number is also given with the company incorporation. So maybe the language issue will be there, like things are not getting validated as you are trying to have in this. That maybe that's why it's not came, but it's a good suggestion from the who has asked, because while applying for the company incorporation and LLP incorporation, like PAPSI number is also coming, and this thing, the PAN number, all these things are there. When you incorporate the company, then they are giving the registration. PFESI registration is also the if you go and tick over there, no? So they if you want to avail the GST number, that option can be there in the while incorporating the company.
That is okay. Okay, so you are talking about our integration with Ministry of Corporate Affairs,
Yes.
and
Correct, ma'am.
we have created a single window, but the whoever the applicant who is applying on the MCA portal, he has to go through the all the Part A and Part B forms, registration one, and all those validations are built in the system in MCA also. Though it is to facilitate to the taxpayer that who can at one window who can avail the PAN number, who can avail the private limited company. I doubt there is a partnership. LLP is there in that. LLP is also.
LLP is there. LLP is with the ministry only. Partnership firm is not with them.
Yeah, no, that is fine. But whatever single window GST and MCA is given, I doubt we have still not given LLP. We have just given
Yes.
this private limited company only.
Private limited, yes.
So that, but still, whenever that taxpayer he files that annexure, that is, he doesn't realize that it's a spice agile form. He doesn't realize that it is a he is filing the registration one form, because the overlapping fields are there. Whichever not overlapping, they have mentioned in the spice agile form or annexure form. But he is giving all the information. He is not at all given any incentive just because he has gone on MCA. He has to file all that informations or all that fields if he has to, even though if he has to come to our portal also. It's the same registration one form. And all the validations are built in that.
Okay.
This question was raised by NB Vaidyanath.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Vaidyanathan, do you have any more questions on that?
No, that was the question. What he's saying, since most of the bank accounts are linked to PAN and further PAN is linked to Aadhaar, there should not be any problems for genuine person to registering with GST.
Actually, this PAN linked to Aadhaar, this is, if you see from after 2017, this particular provision has come, as per my understanding, with CBDT ki PAN linked with Aadhaar. That is one thing. And the second, what I have observed, maybe percentage I'm wrong, but somewhere major percentage of PAN applications are going through offline. Okay, still the people apply through offline this PAN. So there, whether the system, the CBDT system checks whether the PAN is linked with Aadhaar or not. That is one question, and that is the reason probably this new whatever URL is there, they have provided on their homepage that PAN link with Aadhaar like that. I suppose that is also the time has done with that time limit also. But that may be the reason, like in the offline mode, whoever applies for the PAN, there the PAN and Aadhaar linkage is taken care of or not. And still 80% are applying PAN through the offline mode. Because we consider only data which is with respect to MCA, private limited company, or limited liabilities.
One of the question was like for a C with regard to the CA number. Like CA number state-wise separate department for the electricity, and that is also online. So he's saying most of the case is been rejected on the ground that CA number is not visible. So
CA
can
number
it
is
be
not
visible on the electricity bill and some sort of? So can it be a auto-populated kind of a CA number, and which can be linked?
Yes, actually, but
Like
so
K
you
number,
mean
somewhere in a K number, somewhere in a CA number. When people go for the online payment of their electricity bill, no? That comes on a, nowadays on a Paytm and all those sort of things. So there will be very less chance to mistaken the, just forging the electricity bill and putting name and some sort. Like on a
okay.
Paytm, we can pay our electricity bill, no? With the
Yeah. That's a unified platform, I can say, where all the bills accumulated on one platform, like gas bill, say the electricity bill, say whatever you like. We can choose that, right? All the bills. So you want to say that it should be auto-populated when he provides the bill,
with the
submit the
number.
bill to the.
Putting the bill, he's attaching the bill also with for the address proof, and also put their his CA number on a one field, so that can be linked. Then name can become auto-populated with this.
So actually we had tried this, but tell me, when the bill itself is not legible, then in that case the system also is not able to identify that.
No, one of the
This-
question from the participant was that most of the cases it has been rejected on the ground that it is not visible on the this whatever he is providing, no?
Yeah, exactly. It is not the electricity bill, whatever it is submitted to the system. I mean, they are blurred. They are not legible. Yeah. So in that case, we have done that exercise also in our GST, where we were trying to how the system can automatically read that particular number.
Okay.
That question is very valid, whoever has asked. So to whether the system can itself read instead of a taxpayer, he himself like feed that number and there are mistakes. But the thing is that if the bill which is given by the taxpayer itself is blurred, then that resolution system itself doesn't add. So if system cannot, if a human being cannot read what we concluded, like from that exercise, a system also cannot read.
Okay.
Yeah, and for auto-populating the numbers, then the GST system has to integrate with all the electricity companies throughout India.
See, that is on our agenda, but just let me know by connecting that how the CA number will be auto-populated.
Now, CA number he has to manually put, right?
Manually has to be put.
He has to put manually. That is what in case of specific Maharashtra specific, we are asking a taxpayer to applicant to furnish his CA number, and that CA number is getting validated with respect to DISCOM, means distribution companies, say Tata or whoever.
No, Aarti Kadam's madam, CMA Aarti Kadam madam, she has raised this issue. The officer are rejecting the registration even if the CA number is visible and put in the registration process, stating it is not visible. What can be the solution for this? This is the administrative issue, not with the related to the.
Yeah. This is administrative, and one more thing, he has to. It's very clear. If he has a blurred copy, he should have he should always obtain a dark copy or readable copy. But it is an administrative question. Yeah.
Is there any built-in system in GST for checking which PAN is related to bank account furnished?
That is what in my last slide we have discussed, na? Very soon this functionality is going to be built. these three things you have to keep yourself ready. That bank account number. First, whosoever bank account number you give, the system is going to identify that whose bank account number is this. Or second, against that bank account number, whether it is the name of that bank account number holder, then PAN system is going to identify that. Number one. And number two, if it is not connected with the applicants, then system will identify, and with respect to 10A rule and 21A rule, the system will suspend. It's not may, will suspend. So you have to like take care of your applicant that his bank account number has to be on his name, has to be obtained on the same PAN of on his PAN, like same PAN which he has provided in the system. And we have started, we will be started sending the emails also, reminders also. Okay, kindly furnish your bank account numbers, at least bank account numbers. And the second stage will be those bank account number has to be of that registration registered person and on his PAN. These three things has to be followed by the taxpayer, because already rules are inbuilt in the act. So we have to take care, and as they are being CMA or tax practitioner, we have to inform to the taxpayer. Earlier, what used to happen, I remember when I was in the field formation, the bank account numbers will be someone else. When we have to give them refund or other way start the recovery procedure, we will get to know this is someone else bank number is maybe employee's bank account number or someone else, or it is a even the same bank account number. So the same bank account number, maybe it is his bank account number also, but it is closed. The bank account is closed, or the bank is also disabled, probably some cooperative bank, or there is KYC pending with the bank. There are many like formalities with the bank. So bank is the bank account number is just it is inactive. So such cases I remember during the last 4-5 years before when I was on the field, I have observed those. But now these things will very soon the system is going to all these features, whatever I said, whether the bank is disabled. I mean, mostly the banks are merged or banks are disabled also. Recently, in the last week only, I heard RBI has suspended 2 banks' license. So that, or the bank account is not updated by taxpayer last 3-4 years. So it is inactive. It is closed by bank account, bank itself, or KYC is pending. All these things in the very soon it will be identified by the system. So you have to make aware of your taxpayer that the bank account number has to be live, and it has to be with complete KYC, with everything. It should be. It should not be for minor holder. So there are so many things like about the bank account. He has to take care of that, and that will be identified by the system.
Ma'am, one last question. In one state, one GST, but can have number of establishments. How the electricity CA number work only for one state?
That is, I have in that slide, if you see, it's particular, that particular state has empowered itself through SGST Act. For example, Maharashtra, if you read that notification, Maharashtra has empowered for this particular provision.
Okay. So, ma'am, I cannot see any more question.
One more from geotagging. He just
geotagging. Please guide on geotagging, which while doing registration.
Exactly. may I get the question exactly? What is the question? Like what to guide? Like whoever has asked, can they raise ask on themselves
Aarti
question?
Kadam, please guide on geotagging not which, please guide on geotagging while doing registration.
Personal question.
Actually, it's
It's not a question, basically. It's a
okay.
guidance she's asking.
Let me
Maybe
share
you can
a
give
few
a
things
brief.
with you people. First, this particular geotagging is taken by MMI mapping, Map My India. Okay, so it is. I understand it's much user friendly. You have to, from the map, you have to identify your location, and once you identify that location, the system takes that address, pin code and the few things, rest, street or some, those are not made rigid, that you can add on your own. Still, if there is any issue, you can always share with me. Whether we have made them unmute or they have to write in chatting
They have
only.
to write, man. They have to write.
Okay. If there is any issue, let me know. But we are improvising that particular MMI feature also, that geotagging. But at present, I feel 80 to 90% is doing very well.
Yeah, I think we have a few minutes. Rajat, you just conclude because this is
I
the
think we don't have any more questions, so we'll conclude today. Today's session, ma'am. We are thankful to you. Again, we say thanks to you for coming to this webinar, and I just want to share with our participants here that in last tax bulletin, which has been uploaded in on our website, we have an article given by ma'am on this particular topic, biometric. I think it was on biometric. If I request all to go through the tax bulletins also, and ma'am, we expect some more times from you in future also for this type of webinars, because when it was a very helpful.
Vasuji, sorry to intervene you. I rather want a very live session. If you can, if they raise their hand, we can unmute them and they can directly discuss, because writing has a restriction and sometimes we are lazy also to write all the, so if we make them live and they can share with me their personal experience, because I feel that those are like, whatever their experiences are really assets for us, like, because on that only we can, like, build the further digitize things, and we get a live feedback from them whether the things are like how they are happening. Because at the time I cannot test, live test I cannot do it. There is a restriction for us. That is one thing. So I will always be ready, and before I intervene you, so you complete, then I will just take your 1 minute.
No, you speak on.
Okay. So, and I'm really thankful to you all, especially Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and giving me such a wonderful opportunity. And usually I get such a precious opportunities to share with all CMS. And if it would have been a much more live and interactive, I would have liked more. And I really thankful to Rajendra ji, Basuji and Priyanka ji, having specifically with Priyanka and Basu sir having such a great patience with the system, which what we faced the problems last 10-15 days. And
actually,
thank you all.
ma'am, it's all of us having patience with technology.
And of course all CMS, because getting such a educated, intelligent audience, it's and sparing for like for me 1 hour, I'm really thankful to all the audience.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
We will keep your suggestion in mind. Let me talk to our IT team also regarding that interactive session, because I have to discuss with them. how many maximum number of participants which can be accommodated in that interactive session, but definitely we'll do something on it, and we'll have a fresh session or a revised session or maybe a new session where more interaction can be possible. So
yeah, because
thank
this
you
is just
so much, ma'am.
unilateral. Unilateral it is, no? One way.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for being with us, and thanks to all the participants for being with us in this webinar. And as I said, we hope for many more webinars like this in future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.